Hi and assalamulaikum. My name is Fatin.
My name is Hurin.
I'm Zulaikha Fauzi.
I'm Farhana.
And I'm Mirza. I will be talking about virus. So, virus is a simple microscopic parasite which their length can be ranged between 2 nanometer and 1 micrometer. Virus can infect all living organisms and are characterized between living and non-living organisms. This is because they do replicate and carry metabolic activity like other organisms, but only within their host cell. So basically, a virus can live in a host. They need a host to live. Next, virus consists their genetic material, nucleic acid, which can be single or double-stranded DNA or RNA. And the virus genome is enclosed in a capsid, which is a protein shell. Some viruses do have nuclear envelope, which helps them to infect their host.
Do you know what is bacteria? Bacteria is a single-cell microbes. They have no nucleus or membrane-bound organelles. They store their genetic material in a single loop of DNA. What about bacterial reproduction? Bacteria can reproduce by the process called binary fission. In this process, the bacterium will divide into two identical daughter cells. Have you ever wondered why we can quickly become ill? This is because the bacteria can divide every 20 minutes, producing a colossal number of bacteria after 1 hour. So this is the reason why we can quickly become ill. Last but not least, let's move on to the mechanism of survival of bacteria. Some bacteria can form endospore. These are dormant structures which are extremely resistant to hostile physical and chemical conditions like heat and UV radiation. This makes destroying bacteria was very difficult. That is all about bacteria.
Next, I'm going to talk about the similarities between virus and bacteria. First, both bacteria and virus, they lack of nucleus. From the slide, we can see that for the structure of bacteria, that they contain chromosomal DNA that can be found loose inside of the cytoplasm. Meanwhile, for the virus, they contain nucleic acid, which can be either RNA or DNA that enclosed within the protein coat that known as capsid. First, acute bronchitis. Acute bronchitis is an inflammation of the large airways that is characterized by cough, and it usually lasts about 1 to 3 weeks. The type of bacteria that can cause acute bronchitis is Streptococcus pneumoniae, and for the virus is rhinovirus or adenovirus. The second type of diseases is sinusitis, or medically known as rhinosinusitis, that occurs when the nasal cavities become infected or swollen. The type of bacteria that can cause sinusitis is Haemophilus influenzae, and for the virus, commonly caused by influenza virus or rhinovirus.
We're gonna proceed to differences between virus and bacteria. So, for the first one, viruses is not living organism while bacteria is a living organism. Next, viruses only grow and reproduce inside the host cell they infected. When they found outside of this living cell, viruses are dormant. Their life therefore requires the hijacking of the biochemical activities of a living cell. Meanwhile, bacteria are living organisms that consist of single cell that can generate energy to move, to make their own food, or even to reproduce. Next, viruses are submicroscopic, while bacteria is more larger than virus. A viral infection is systemic. Viruses infected a host cell and then multiply by the thousand, leaving the host cell and the infecting other cell of the body. While bacterial infection is usually confined to a part of the body, described as a localized infection. Infections may be caused by the bacteria or by the toxin produced. Last but not least, systemic disease caused by viral infections are influenza, polio, AIDS, and the latest one is COVID-19. Bacterial disease include pneumonia, food poisoning, and tetanus.
Now, let's look at coronaviruses. Coronaviruses is a group of genetically related virus that causes disease in mammals and birds. The coronavirus that is responsible for COVID-19 is known as SARS-CoV-2. It is an envelope virus that has spike, membrane, and envelope protein. As for the nucleic acid, it has a single-strand RNA. Most of the RNA virus tends to be smaller in size and have fewer genes. This means that they can infect many hosts and replicate quickly. However, this also causes them to be much more likely to produce mutation that can be useless. Different from other coronaviruses, SARS-CoV-2 is considered to be the largest RNA virus and have more genes. It also has an enzyme that checks for errors during replication. This causes SARS-CoV-2 to have more stable and slower rate of mutation. COVID-19 is highly infectious because SARS-CoV-2 has very high affinity towards an enzyme that is present at the epithelial cells of our alveoli. Therefore, we need to be careful by practicing personal hygiene, wearing masks in public, and maintaining social distance.
That's the end of our presentation. I hope you guys can understand well and thank you for your time.